Talk with Fran McCaffrey. Brought to you by Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. By your local Ford dealers. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Cellular. The official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular. Built for us. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with a Hy-Vee Perks membership. Mid-American Energy. Look up, look out for overhead power lines. Visit midamericanenergy.com for electrical safety tips. Midwest One Bank is the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Midwest One, small enough to care, big enough to deliver. Member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back into the Hyatt Regency in the beautiful Iowa River Landing. Thanks for joining us tonight in the Hawkeye Radio Network. After an 8-day bye week for Iowa basketball, the Hawkeyes welcome not one but two top 25 Big Ten foes to Carver Hawkeye Arena this week. Starting with number 7 Purdue tomorrow, the Hawks will play the final third of the schedule, and it's sad to say that they'll play the last 10 games of the year without star forward Owen Freeman, Iowa's leading scorer and rebounder. Will miss the rest of the season due to an injured right hand that Coach McCaffrey announced today will require surgery. And we'll visit with Fran about Freeman's sidelining and where the Hawks go from here at that position. Riley Mulvey, Laji Dembele, Seydou Traore, Evan Bronze, Chris Taggio, they've all taken their turn in spelling Freeman in the middle, but no question losing Owen Freeman is a huge blow to the Hawkeye attack. Owen is averaging nearly 17 points, 7 rebounds a game, and he's blocked a team-best 35 shots. And those are tough numbers. That's tough production to replace. But the bottom line is we wish Owen the best with his pending surgery and his rehabilitation. They will perform surgery here in the near future. We look forward to Owen's return next year. It's a tough way to start the show, but with that bit of news, as we all know, injuries are a part of the game regardless of the sport, and the Hawkeyes have had more than their fair share of them this season. Cooper Koch is done for the year. Traore, Taggio, Riley Mulvey, Evan Bronze, Josh Dix, Drew Thelwell, all have missed game action. But forward we go. Let's march onward. And now the 7th-ranked Purdue Boilermakers are in town to play the Hawks tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, 5 p.m. for the pregame show here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. The Boilermakers are 17-5, 9-2 in the Big Ten. That's good for second place, just a game behind front-running Michigan State. The Boilers are paced by the outstanding guard court of Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer. Both average around 15 points. Forward Trey Kaufman-Wren leads the team in scoring and rebounding at 18 points and a half a dozen boards on average. Purdue most recently outlasted Indiana 81-76 in a wild back-and-forth affair at Mackey Arena. Had the chance to watch that game last Friday night. And the Boilermakers have won 8 of their last 9 games, so they're playing their best basketball. The Hawks last played at Ohio State, losing to the Buckeyes 82-65. That was a week ago last night. So with that as a backdrop, welcome into Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. I'm Gary Dolphin alongside my broadcast partner Bobby Hansen and engineer-producer Corey Sheets. We're live at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar, tucked inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville's Iowa River Landing. Bobby, tough news coming out of the bye week for the Hawkeyes, losing Owen Freeman, but you and I both know that with Payton Sanford, Josh Dix, Drew Thelwell, Brock Harding, they're tough guys. They've got to step up and take the lead, circle the wagons, and come out battling tomorrow. I mean, they have to. There's no other option.
Yeah, no other option is right, Gary. So unfortunate news. And, prayers up for Owen and on a quick recovery, a full recovery. I've dealt with broken hand, broken feet before, and you think you can play it through it, but it's going to hamper you. So the decision was made, and hopefully the surgery went well. I think today I might have read that they were going to have that surgery, on the shooting hand, finger. So get him back going and wish him the best because he's got a bright future ahead of him. It's unfortunately next man in. It's what you're on scholarship for, and you got to be ready to go. We dealt with a lot of injuries, Gary. I thought about it all day after reading that news. Is the Final Four year, 1980. I mean, we only had 7 guys available, and you kind of played through it, but you rally around, you rally together, and you circle those wagons, and you can come out stronger because of it, and let's hope that's what the Hawkeyes have planned.
And it starts with Payton Sanford. He's got over 1,400 career points, now third on the all-time three-point goal list. I mean, he's the emotional, he's the spiritual leader of this team. What's his role in getting everyone back on page one?
Well, he's a senior leader. He's the guy that has the voice inside that locker room on the court. Got to keep them together, as Payton likes to talk about. I talk about that with him as the year has gone on, and no time to feel sorry for yourself. I think it's got to be the message. You got to come out. You got to outwork the opponent. You got to be smart. You got to follow the game plan. Your focus has got to be, pinpoint focus on what you're going to do to compete with Purdue. Trey Kaufman-Renn, you mentioned, Gary, playing at an all Big Ten level. Now in his third year, his junior year. Love those guards. Sat in front of the TV Friday night and watched that Indiana game. And that was a one-point game, back and forth all the way to the end when free throws made it a 5-point victory, I believe. But Braden Smith was phenomenal. I can see why he was voted the Big Ten's best player, MVP of the Big Ten in preseason, because the kid is fearless. He's always in the attack mode. He's always looking, got his head up, never really dribbles into too much trouble. He's a little guy, but he's got a deadly outside shot, and he knows where his shooters are on the wings there with C.J. Cox and, in particular, Fletcher Lawyer.
You and I were texting back and forth. We were both watching that Indiana-Purdue game. 81-76 was the final, and Indiana had roared back, taken the lead, had a 2-possession lead. Purdue, they're going to come back because of those guards. There are so many good guards in this league this year. We love our guards, Dix, Brock Harding, Drew Thelwell, but Smith and Lawyer have been hanging around together for about 2 or 3 years. You cannot replace that fluidity, that playing with each other for as long as those guys have.
That trust that they have in each other.
Yeah,
they know where they're going to be on the court. They don't come off the court very much. They both average in the high 30s of minutes played. So yeah, that's where the scouting report starts. The scouting report also will include that these guys play extremely hard. You take a guy like Caleb First, 6'10" senior center from Fort Wayne. Averages 4 points, 3 rebounds, but I bet he gets 3 or 4 loose balls, scrum balls, 50-50 balls every game that he'll dig out of there. Miles Colvin out there, Waddell, so Cameron Heidi comes in off the bench. So Matt's got some players there, but he rolls with the starting 5 mostly, and why not? Trey Kaufman-Renn in that game you talked about, Gary, he hit that big jump hook to put him up, I think, 1 late in the game, though. But again, they trusted each other. They trusted getting the ball to Trey Kaufman-Renn, and he got it inside the paint against Imar Ballo and made the shot.
Matt Painter, another terrific outfit. They're playing their best basketball. As usual, Purdue peaks about this time of the year. What impresses you about the Boilermakers at first glance? We mentioned some of their leading players, but as a unit, I mean, Painter's been there 20 years now. Going on his 21st year, he's won close to 65% of his games. I mean, amazing story.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Was an assistant there in the first couple of years, and he has a former Hawkeye on his staff there, Paul Lusk. Always great to get caught up with Paul, but they're all on the same page. They're going to play hard every night out. The shots may not always drop, but they're always going to defend, Gary. They're going to play man-to-man 100% of the time, and they're going to attack the boards. They're going to go after the offensive rebounds. They're going to put a body on you, and you just isolate on those guys inside. They're always got bodies on each other, and somebody comes in and gets those loose balls that are dropping down there. So you got to go in there with the attack mindset. I think they can be the 1-2-2, three-quarter court pressure can maybe cause them a little bit of problem, slow them up a little bit, take some time off that shot clock, keep them in front of you. But when you get the ball, you got to attack and see if we can get some turnovers on these smaller guards.
Painter took over for the Hall of Famer, Gene Cady. I mean, that's not easy to do. Usually you have a little drop-off. There's been no drop-off with him.
No.
Amazing story.
Yeah, it is an amazing story, and just a nice man. Always got a smile, always got a handshake for you whenever you see Matt. So you can see how, why they're so successful over there. You thought it was Zach Edey for the last 3-4 years. He was a mountain inside there and was tough to deal with, but kind of keep it going here, sitting there at just a game out of first place, or 2 games, I guess, with Michigan State. No, they lost, didn't they? USC got them, so just
got them by 6.
Yeah, 1 game in the loss column.
Yeah, the Boilermakers are shooting 49% from the field and 38% from 3, so they can knock them down from all over the place. The Hawkeyes will need to dig in defensively. Now, Iowa continues to lead the Big Ten in assists and assist to turnovers. And I bring that up because taking care of the ball is primary against one of the best defending teams in the Big Ten. Purdue has the 4th best scoring defense, allowing 68 points a game. So if you flip it over and you give them extra possessions, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble, no doubt about it. So that'll be a big key, Gary, is to keep your turnovers to a minimum. Their turnovers happen in a basketball game, but you can't give them live ball turnovers where they get out and run, really get some energy off of that. But, yeah, tough task, but the Hawks have had time to prepare for them, and now time with Owen out, so we'll see what the lineup is.
Yeah, 8 days to prepare for him. The Hawks have known who was coming out of the gate after their bye week, long awaited for bye week, and it is over, and we're back to the final 10 games of the Big Ten season. We're at the Hyatt Regency tonight in Coralville, the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Watch the show live. Come on out each and every week to Hawk Talk. They offer an extended happy hour, which I know gets a lot of folks' attention. But try these numbers on. $1 wings, $3 drafts and domestics, and $5 house wines. Come on down to Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Join us for a great evening of Hawk Talk, Iowa basketball. As the Hawks take on Purdue tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, right at the dinner bell. We'll be on the air at 5 o'clock with our pregame coverage. Number of ways you can reach Coach McCaffrey tonight with your comments, questions. You can start with Twitter. You can reach us on Twitter at Gary Dolphin, Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. U.S. Cellular has joined us this year with a text line for you to sound off, 319-853-8344. Text your comment or question to 319-853-8344. Or email us your question to hawktalk@hawkeyeradionetwork.com. That's hawktalk@hawkeyeradionetwork.com. Thanks to all of our sponsors, especially U.S. Cellular, a proud sponsor, proud supporter of the Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular, built for us. We'll step out, take our first break here from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar, and then come back live for Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
Conference play is here, and you could be there in style with the Iowa Lottery. Play the new 9s in a Line scratch ticket for your chance to win cash, or see the Iowa women's basketball team take on UCLA in February. Enter any non-winning scratch ticket in the VIP club today for a chance to win exclusive seats with complimentary food and beverage service, parking, and $500 in spending money. Women's basketball, men's wrestling. It's your choice in the prize zone. Check out ialottery.com/VIP for details and play today.
Woohoo! Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with these local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, located in the Des Moines area. Carr Law, Community Choice Credit Union, and Royal Flooring. Facing a criminal charge or complicated family law situation, Carr Law Firm has the trial experts you need. As experienced trial attorneys, we understand how much is on the line. Go to carlawiowa.com for a free consultation. That's Carr with 2 R's, lawiowa.com.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Quinn Schulte. I play safety here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop to run, I make the tackle, and I get interceptions.
Rosmer to throw, has time.
Yes,
Oh, it's deflected.
yes.
Intercepted again by Quinn Schulte. He's running the other way at the 40-yard line. Hawks have another turnover. We're going to slam the lid, hopefully, down. Here's an interception. That'll do it. And it's Quinn Schulte. And down there, the Hawkeyes will have first and goal.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hawkeyes and Purdue coming up tomorrow night. Big Ten basketball is back at Carver Hawkeye Arena. That said, what a day yesterday for the Hawkeye women. Congratulations to Coach Jan Jensen. And it was great to see Caitlin back in the building as the Hawkeye women knocked off previously unbeaten Southern Cal 76-69. And that suffocating defense, particularly in that first half, was something special to watch. We're talking men's basketball here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey is coming to you live from the Hyatt Regency. Hyatt Regency, thanks to Matt and the crew. They're ready to serve you 7 days a week, but especially tonight. We're sponsored by Iowa Corn throughout the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. Iowa Corn promotes honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan. Thanks to Iowa's corn farmers who lead the nation in corn and ethanol production, feeding and fueling us all. Go to iowacorn.org and learn how corn grows Iowa. As we mentioned at the top of the show, Owen Freeman is not available tomorrow night. He will be on the shelf for the rest of the year undergoing hand surgery, shooting hand surgery. We wish Owen all the best. Payton Sanford, Iowa's leader, at a press conference earlier today, talked about Owen and valued his loss. We'll come back to that audio with Payton here. A little technical issue here. We'll figure that one out. The Hawkeyes in Purdue tip off at 6 tomorrow afternoon. Our pregame coverage starts at 5 on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Gary Dolphin is joined by my broadcast partner Bobby Hansen. But Bobby, we've got Payton now. Here's Payton Sanford talking earlier today about the loss of his buddy Owen Freeman.
Big producer and did a lot of good things for this team. But we got a lot of guys that are ready and. Accept the challenge. They've been working, they've been preparing for this, and, I think they're really excited for the opportunity. So it's not just going to be one guy that replaces him, but, it's going to be a collective effort. It's got to be the whole team. And, I'm excited for those guys. They've been waiting for this opportunity, and, they're going to get their chance. And, my advice to them is just, play their heart out, know their role, don't try to do too much, and, try to help the team win. And, I think they're ready for that, and, I'm excited to see it.
You've been scrapping as an undersized four this year anyway. How do you guys make up for that on glass and defensively?
Yeah, we're gonna have to compete. We're gonna have to have guys, play as hard as they ever have in their lives, and like I said, there's a lot of guys that are excited for this, and I think they're ready and they're going to be willing to give it everything they got. So, it'll be good opportunity for them.
I was gonna say, Payton, being one of the leaders on this team, you kind of meet with some of those guys and kind of talk them, not talking through because they play quite a bit of basketball, but just knowing their role and being in different spots. Like Riley seems like he's going to get more minutes. Maybe Elijah's going into some different situations? Do you kind of sit down and talk with them?
Yeah, you know, I've had a lot of discussions with a lot of guys, you know, about, you know, how we move forward and how things are going to look different. And, you know, it opens up a ton of opportunities for guys. And, you know, they have different skill sets than Owen. You know, they have things that they do really well. And I think we got to find a way to utilize those things. And, you know, maybe, you know, for what they lack, I think they can make up with an effort. And, you know, they're really excited, and, you know, they've been working really hard for this. They've been, you know, great team guys and putting in, you know, all the extra hours and just continuing to stay ready. And I'm excited to see them work at it.
Can you speak to the physical challenges that this team has faced this year? I mean, Coop's been out a good portion of the year. Owen's out. I know you've had some injuries. Josh has had some battles.
Yeah, yeah, it hasn't been easy, and every team kind of deals with that. I think, you know, I'm really proud of the guys that, you know, are you know, fighting through a lot of stuff. It hasn't been easy at all. You know, it's been hard to keep rhythm as a team, you know, through practices when, you know, guys are missing practice and, you know, just kind of willing themselves through the game. And it isn't easy, but, you know, a lot of teams deal with it, and we just got to keep at it, stay together, and that's how we'll win games.
Not to look too far back in the past, we haven't talked to you since Ohio State. I mean, just the road games, what do you feel like hasn't, you know, clicked as a collective, you know, going on the road?
Yeah, I think we've just had a real big trouble kind of withstanding runs. You know, it feels like the lead goes from 6 to 20 like that, and that's kind of where, you know, we gotta come together, and we got to have a little more fight than we've had, you know, in those moments. I think that's been the big thing. And, you know, we've shown we're capable of coming back, but it's that much harder on the road. So we can't be front runners. We got to find a way to, you know, just battle through that adversity. And I think that's where we're still continuing to improve.
In conjunction with the runs, I've heard from you, I've heard from Fran about the quick shooting. What's the cure for not being too trigger happy on the offensive end?
I wouldn't say that we're getting bad looks a lot of the time, but, you know, you just got to know on the road, you got to kind of, you know, get gritty, I think, on offensive possessions, and, you know, make them work a little bit. Even if you score a quick shooting, it can, you know, you got to go back and play defense. And, you know, we play that up-tempo style, and, you know, that's what coach and that's what we want to do. So, you know, that's kind of the problem with it is, you know, when teams are on those runs and we're kind of missing shots we normally make, it just kind of snowballs.
Did you take any inspiration from what the women pulled off yesterday?
Yeah, that was fun to watch. You know, I hope we can get the same, you know, level of support. And that was such a big impact on the game, especially, you know, early and down the stretch at the end. And, you know, I'm proud of those girls, the way that, you know, they've struggled this year. They've had their struggles, and it's something they really haven't had to fight through before. And, you know, they found their way, and it's just going to keep getting better.
Payton, I guess, how important was this past kind of week for you guys, just because of all the physical challenges? You get a couple days off to kind of rest, I guess. How important was the timing of this kind of extended break, so to say?
Yeah, it was nice. You know, I got to go home for a little bit and just kind of reset. Yeah, it was a long stretch, it felt like, and, you know, the body and the mind had kind of broken down. So get to kind of reset, get to come home, you know, play in front of our fans, and I think everybody's, you know, excited to get back out there and ready for the opportunity.
Purdue looks a little different this year, but top 10 team coming to Harvard. How fired up are you for this type of challenge?
Yeah, you know, they've had our number. They got a really good program. They got a lot of really good players playing at a really high level, and, you know, they present a challenge, and I think we're all really excited for the opportunity, and you know, it's going to take everything we got to get this one done.
Did you get in the gym when you were back home and get the shot doctor working with you?
Yeah, I think it's been hard. I haven't been able to really work on my shot at all, just with all the injuries, and that really takes you out of rhythm, and that's something, you know, I've had to fight through, and something I really haven't experienced before is, you know, just kind of being such a big rhythm player. It's you know, I just love shooting, and I do it all the time, and that's kind of, you know, been a step back. I just have to, you know, take a different approach and, you know, try to work through it more mentally than physically. But you know, I was able to get home and, you know, be with my dad and my grandpa, and we worked on a ton of stuff, and you know, all different sorts of shots. So I think it'll be good, and, you know, I'm ready to, you know, go on a hot streak now.
With Josh, you know, with Owen Freeman being out, you know, Josh Dix really hasn't, you know, played up to his standard over the last couple of games. I guess you as his teammate and one of his good friends, how do you kind of continue to uplift him and fill his confidence and be kind of a positive influence on him? Because I know he has a couple battles that he's kind of fighting himself.
Yeah, you know, he's someone that doesn't really react to the ups and the downs, and he's always even keel, and you never know that he's struggling, but he's such a great player, and he was playing so confidently for a good portion of the season. And these last few games don't change anything about how we feel about him. Every time he shoots it, I think it's going in. So we just got to keep feeding him. We got to get him going, and I'm very confident that he will.
You talked about the importance of just staying together as a team. Like, do you feel like you guys have been able to do that?
Yeah, I think we've stayed together. It's hard to do, but I'm really impressed with the guy, all the guys, and the way that we've supported each other and been there for one another. And it seems like there's a ton of distractions, which a lot of guys can really struggle with. Going through this season, there's a lot of ups and downs, but we just try to stay together, try to block out the outside noise, and just stay tight. And we've done a really good job of that. And I'm impressed with the way we've been practicing lately. So we need it to translate, and we just got to bring that same effort.
What was your immediate reaction when it was revealed or it was decided that Owen was going to be done for the season?
Personally, it was just to reach out to him, make sure that everything's okay, and be there as a friend. I know it's not easy playing through something like that, and then after that, it's reaching out to the guys that we need to step up. And like I said, I'm really excited for their opportunities, and I think they're really excited. They're getting their chance, and they're ready to do something.
Obviously, there's
Last question.
Exactly replacing Owen with these three guys, but I guess what do you look at for those three, like Evan, Lodgy, Riley, and say, I'm excited for them because they're going to contribute this, or I have confidence in them because of X, Y, Z?
Yeah, they really know how to play in the motion game. They're great screeners. They can score, they can roll, they're great athletes. They know the system really well, and it's going to be a collective effort from the three of them. We need them to go in there. We need them to, kind of enforce the game. We need them to be very physical, and I don't think they need to worry all that much about foul trouble. I think they just need to play as hard as they can, and they've all been willing to do whatever it takes to win. In all their time here, regardless of if they're not getting any of the credit or they're not on the floor. So I think they're ready to shine now.
Payton Sanford, some of his thoughts at today's press conference as the Hawks get ready for the Purdue Boilermakers tomorrow night. Payton's going to come out firing, Bobby. This is his kind of stage, and he needs to be successful early on and throughout the game, and he's got the talent to do it.
Yeah, he's got the confidence, got the talent, no doubt, and he said a lot of good things in that interview right there, which I picked up on. That is, number one, is that not one person is going to pick up those 17 points and 8 rebounds that Owen Freeman gave you. They've got to do it collectively. Everybody's got to be on the same page. You got to be in there. You can't be leaking out fast breaks. You got to get the rebound first and foremost. Now, whoever comes in there, as you said, don't worry about foul trouble. We'll get your back there. Just play hard, play physical, don't play stupid, and they got to take good shots. As you mentioned, when they're down 6, all of a sudden they're down 16 in the blink of an eye because there wasn't real good shot selection in some of those games where it got away for the Hawkeyes. So those are just things that young basketball players learn, and he is a senior. He's our starting 4-man. He's the big guy out there, and he's probably undersized at that position, but he's got long arms and a good rebounder. Payton has always been a good rebounder, but we need him to drain some deep ones here in these final 10, 11, 12, 13 games, whatever it is left for the Hawkeyes, that he and his brother, Price, because Fran's going to have him on the floor a lot. Josh Dix, mentioned him, get his confidence back and rolling, and love Drew Thelwell. I'm sure he's going to play a big part of this. Drew will be put in there, and the kid, nobody's a fiery competitor more than Drew Thelwell.
Payton Sanford is the 29th player in program history now to score more than 1,000 career points. He's over 1,400 for his career, but also plucked 500 rebounds. The first Hawkeye since Joe Wieskamp in 2021 to join that club.
Yeah, nice. Congratulations. That's some piling up some stats right there. A lot of points, a lot of rebounds there for Payton. But as I mentioned, he's a good rebounder. He always seems to sneak in there and get an offensive rebound when you least expect it. And on the defensive board, he has the ability to grab it and go. Start the fast break right there off the defensive glass.
Hopefully he hits 2 or 3 threes at the start of the game tomorrow night, loosen up that Purdue defense. Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield knows you're here for every memorable moment, every fast break, every three-pointer, and every game-winning play. Wellmark is here for every moment, too, with trusted healthcare coverage you can count on all season long. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/hoops. Wellmark.com/hoops. Well, Coach McCaffrey will join us after this next timeout. We'll get Fran's thoughts on how do you replace Owen Freeman. I don't know if you replace him, but you got to do it by committee, as Bobby just mentioned. We'll talk more Iowa-Purdue coming up tomorrow night. By the way, they've got about 6,000 tickets left for that game. Couple thousand remaining for the Wisconsin game on Saturday at noon. That is a Saturday matinee affair, so we'd love to see you out at Carver Hawkeye Arena tomorrow night and again on Saturday afternoon for the Badgers. Boilermakers are first up, though, and we'll talk more Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey in just a minute from Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing US Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever. Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to US Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
I'm Nick Jackson. I play linebacker here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, I drop in coverage.
3rd down 11. Straight back to pass is Sullivan. He's running for his life. Down he goes. That's a loss of another 6. Nick Jackson.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey continues from the Hyatt Regency and the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. You can come out and watch the show live each week. They're offering an extended happy hour with great specials, including wings, drafts, and domestics, and house wines. Come on down to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Join us for a great evening of Iowa basketball. Iowa-Purdue tomorrow night. 6 o'clock for the start, 5 o'clock for the pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We welcome in Coach McCaffrey now, and I really like Payton Sanford's comments today. Very down to earth, very level-headed. I mean, he is your emotional, spiritual leader of this team, Fran, and he addressed Owen's absence now going forward, I thought, in an eloquent way. And if anybody can get the team fired up beyond you, it's Payton Sanford.
No question. I'm not surprised. You're not surprised. You know Payton. He's a leader. It's never good news when one of your best players is out. But first and foremost, health and welfare of our guys.
For sure.
And it's always a tough call because, you know, when you hurt your hand, it was, just tape it up and play, right? You know, and it's not fair because for him, we tore all the ligaments, and it was really, really a mess. And what you do in that situation is you assess, obviously not me, the doctors, you know, what is the risk of permanent injury? Because this kid, I said this today at the press conference, he wants to play basketball for a long time.
Sure.
And, you know, you have one injury that just sets you back, and then all of a sudden you can't do what you wanted to do or what you could have done. So the doctors laid it out for him, like, yeah, you can tape it up and play. It's risky, you know, because if it gets worse, then you won't be able to palm a basketball when you're 25. So, you know, obviously, under those conditions, he needed to have it done now. Had it today. Everything went well. I spoke to him tonight. Good. He was doing great. And I think he's happy that it was fixed. I mean, we have one of the best hand people, Dr. Buckwalter, you know, there's nowhere else you'd want to go if you had a situation like that. And so, you know, we had it done here. It's not like he's got to say, I got to go to New York, I got to go to Chicago, I got to go to LA. No, we do it right here with our people. And so we're happy that it's behind him, and we'll get him back rehabbing real soon.
Fran, did this happen over a period of games or one game? Or
happened about, I'm going to say, 2 weeks ago.
In a game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and it was, I'd be honest with you, I don't remember if it was in the game or in practice.
Okay.
He played 2 games with it, and he felt really uncomfortable dribbling, shooting. You know, his free throw was a little bit off. You know, that has something to do with it, obviously. You know, then you say, well, what if it was his left hand where he kept playing? You have the same situation, but it would have been a little bit easier to be able to play with his right hand, being a right-handed player. So, you know, it's just right now, we just support him in his rehab, get him back when he's ready. It's a 2 to 3 month deal, so he's not going to play this year. But opportunity for Riley and Lodgy and Evan and Chris. You know, and that's what those guys are preparing for. They're working hard. They worked hard in the weight room. They worked hard all summer. And it's their opportunity to shine and help us win. They're different kind of players than Owen, but hopefully they can be equally effective.
Coach Riley Mulvey, you've been putting him in some spot duty here recently, and he looked good in limited minutes.
He's a veteran guy. He knows how to run the motion offense. He knows how to get people open. He knows how we run our break, how we run the floor. He knows how we guard ball screens. He's a smart kid, and he's 6'11" and long and athletic. And he's become more physical. You know, he was always kind of a finesse guy, but skilled. You know, and you know, as he's gotten stronger, as he's gotten older, he's gotten more physical. And quite frankly, he got a little nastier, and that's what he needed to do. And I'm really proud of him. You know, Lodgy has been terrific the last couple of weeks, you know, in practice. And we need him to step up and play with confidence, kind of like he did against Iowa State. He was terrific in that game, as you recall.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Bronze is ready to go. I mean, that kid, he's got a body, and he's got experience. And I'm excited for him to have an opportunity. And then Chris Taggio, the freshman, a really talented young guy, still learning, you know, not quite as far along as Evan and Riley in that regard. So we've got a lot of options, different ways we can go.
On that note, Coach, on Facebook, at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks, Trent in Iowa Falls, losing Owen for the season certainly hurts, Coach. And I know you fill his shoes with Mulvey or a mix of players. What's your rotation look like is his question, starting with Riley.
Yeah, you know, it starts with Riley and Lodgy, those two guys. Then, after that, Evan is ready. I mean, I feel very comfortable playing him, and I wouldn't be afraid to play Chris. He's a little unsure sometimes with the game plan and some of the things we're doing, but he's going to fight you.
He's a physical horse.
He's a physical horse, you know, and so's Evan, you know, and so's Lodgy. So, you know, we'll fill it with a mixture of guys, which is what, you know, Trent's question was.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
And that's how you have to do it.
Coach Hank in Kewanee, Illinois. Thanks, Hank, for checking in on Facebook. Who would you compare Braden Smith to with regard to his production and just overall style of play? He's kind of a throwback.
Yeah, you know, he's kind of like Stockton.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably the
Good comparison.
the best one. You know,
Distributor as well as a scorer.
Stockton could shoot. He got rid of the ball at the perfect time. He was really good in pick and roll. But probably shouldn't ask me about Stockton. Ask the guy to my right.
Bobby, is that a fair comparison?
Very fair. I mean, I was thinking the same thing every time I watch him. He makes the right play. He can go with either hand. He's strong. He can pull up and shoot the shot. He'll shoot that little floater over. But he knows he's a point guard, so he's going to get you in the right spot. So nobody was better than John Stockton, but that's a very fair comparison with Braden Smith.
Good question, Hank and Kewanee. Let's go to Twitter. Tyler is in Harlan. Coach, your team is excellent at not turning the ball over. How do you teach that? How do you coach that? I mean, first off, it takes good players, smart players.
Yeah, it takes smart guys, and it takes guys that are committed to winning. The guys that turn the ball over, the guys that are trying to make plays when there's no play to be made. There's no room. I'm going to put my head down and go anyway. I'm going to shoot it anyway. Because a bad shot is the same thing as a turnover. I mean, it's a live ball turnover. So, you know, we stress playing fast, being diligent, moving the ball side to side. So we can score early, we can score late. But it comes down to the character of your guys. That's what it comes down to.
Good question, Tyler. Thank you. Let's, before we take a break, stay with Twitter. Wilson, not sure where Wilson's from. Hey, Fran, with what key philosophies have you maintained throughout your coaching career across different schools, and how have these philosophies evolved or adapted at Iowa? It's a little deep, but Wilson, good stuff.
It's an intelligent, thorough question. Because everybody will say, okay, well, the game's changed. The players changed. Well, the players are the players.
Yes and no.
Like, how do you treat your guys? You know, we say, well, he's old school. Does that mean he yells at them? Right? Because we used to get yelled at.
Yeah.
You're older than me.
I got yelled at a lot.
But that's what coaches did in those days.
Yeah, animated.
And I played for some guys that yelled. I didn't like it, so I don't yell. Now, I yell at the guys in stripes once in a while. They need help. They need my assistance. I don't think they do. But
they need your leadership.
They need my direction.
Your guidance, yeah.
My guidance. I see better than they do, even though I have glasses. But, you know, to me, there are certain absolutes. You treat the guys with respect. You teach them. You never ask them to do what they can't do. And they get mad at them when they don't do it if you demand it. Like, I know what the strengths and weaknesses are of every one of my guys. We're going to recruit guys that can play fast. And we're going to recruit players that share the ball and make plays for themselves or their teammates. And it's not just make a play for yourself. You know, because some teams are playing pack line. Some teams have everybody over on one side. You know, some teams are poor in transition. Some teams get back in transition, don't send as many people to the glass. So what are your expectations for the guys that are on the floor? You know, I expect you to follow the game plan. We're going to have a very sophisticated presentation for you to follow. And you want to win on the road? You got to do it. You want to beat teams in this league? You have to do that. You can't just go flying off on your own and make mistakes and expect to win. You know, you turn the ball over, maybe more than 10 times, but, you know, more than 12 times in this league, you're probably going to lose. You can't turn it over. You got to give yourselves a chance to get a basket, but then also get your defense back. Because if you're turning it over, that's liable. That's layup city. In this league, it's layup city, and all of a sudden you're blown out. So our guys Our guys are smart, they're resilient, but most importantly, they have character and they truly love each other.
Possessions are priceless. Bobby, you played for some characters, you played for some screamers, you played for all great coaches, but up to the question, I mean, from Jerry to Frank to Phil to Lute, I mean, you played for 4 or 5 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, very, very lucky in that. And as Fran know, I'm hard of hearing. So I don't hear most of it that comes my way. I can read your lips,
but you're not.
I'm always looking at you.
You're nodding at them. Yeah.
No, yeah.
I know what I have to do. You don't have to remind me anyway.
Yeah. So just kind of give me some water. Yeah. But no, start with Frank. Lute Olson. He never swore. Lute, as Fran talks about the respect that he has for you, now he'd get upset with you and get your behind in the game, and you knew he was upset at that. So next it was Frank Layden from New York City, and this guy, kept it light. He knew it was just a long grind.
Well, he was a stand-up comedian.
Oh, that's what he wanted to be. Yeah, he's an actor, but he was one of the most incredible coaches I've ever been, and human beings that I've ever been around.
Yeah.
In Frank, and then he handed it over to Jerry Sloan. Jerry was what you would call old school.
Sure.
And hardcore, and demanded, hard work all the time. It didn't matter if you played 45 minutes the night before. Well, you come to practice, grab your hard hat and your lunch pail, and we're going to go to work. And that's the way Jerry approached it.
He had credibility, though, because that's what he did.
Yeah, that's what he did. Yeah.
So why wouldn't you do it?
No, absolutely. And successful, and Hall of Fame coach, as you mentioned. So
he was a heck of a player.
Yeah, Jerry, and that team with Norm Van Leer and Bob Love, Chet Walker, Tom Borwinkle. So those guys were close. I mean, we've lost Jerry, we've lost Bob Love, we've lost Norm Van Leer as well off that team. So, after that, Dick Motta, he had a different way. It happens in Sacramento, and then played for Phil Jackson in Chicago, who did it differently. He didn't have to yell. He just
Michael yelled.
Yeah, Michael get after you a little bit.
And I know that because I went to Coach McLeod came in the office one day and said, "Hey, we're gonna drive over to Chicago and watch the Bulls practice. If you didn't run back, Michael was on you. If you didn't do it, Phil didn't have to say much." And you think, these prima donna pros, they were practicing.
Not Michael.
They got after it, and he held you accountable. And he wasn't crazy, but he was on you, and you didn't want to disappoint Michael.
6 world
or
championships.
Scotty, or Bill Cartwright, or BJ, or any of those guys. That's that 12-man team that we had. But yeah, you had the nuclear weapon there, and Michael, and you had another one in your back pocket, and Scottie Pippen, who was right there. And he liked to lead the second team. Scotty was the guy when Michael would take a break. Scotty was the guy that would take over.
Good stuff. Interesting. Phil Jackson might have been a combination of most of the previous coaches you played for, because I love the way he stood, the squarest shoulders I've ever seen on a basketball player, and he'd stand there with his arms folded for a lot of the game.
Yep.
And then go to work in the huddles. But
he made us play calls like John McLeod did through the whistle. So you knew. And I asked him one time, how'd you come up with that whistle? He said, I had a German Shepherd up there in North Dakota, and that's how I whistled him home when it got dark. So I loved it.
We learned something tonight.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. Good stuff, guys. We'll come back with more Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. Get Fran's scouting report on Purdue. Specifically what the Hawks are dealing with tomorrow night defensively. That's all ahead, straight ahead here from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville in the beautiful Iowa River Landing at the Hyatt Regency, and in particular the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. We're brought to you tonight by the University of Iowa Healthcare System, here for you no matter where you are in the state, changing medicine and changing lives. For all of Iowa and beyond, visit uihealthcare.org. Back to the Hyatt in a minute. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever. Oh my goodness.
Visit US Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with these local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, located in the Des Moines area. Card Law, Community Choice Credit Union, and Royal Flooring. At Community Choice, it's simply a mortgage. No hoops to jump through or limbo sticks to go under. Just a straight, easy path from point A to point B. It takes less than 60 seconds to get started at unpackyourmortgage.com. Loan approval subject to credit score and analysis. See Credit Union for details. Equal opportunity lender.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just needs someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. We're all enjoying dinner here at the Hyatt Regency. Tastes good, smells good. Come on in and take care of, or enjoy the delicacies that the Watermill Kitchen and Bar provide. We'll get back to Coach and his scouting report on Purdue tomorrow night. First off, though, let's take a look at the U.S. Bank scoreboard. Not much to report on this Monday night. U.S. Bank is a proud sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. A bunch of games in the Big Ten tomorrow night besides Iowa and Purdue that tip off at 6 o'clock. Minnesota visits Penn State. Indiana will be at 17th ranked Wisconsin in the Kohl Center. Northwestern entertains Southern Cal at Welsh Ryan Arena. And 7th ranked Michigan State tasted defeat for the first time at the Galen Center with USC over the weekend. Michigan State will face UCLA in the late game tomorrow night. Drake is at Murray State. Top 25 of note, Florida hosting Vanderbilt. Kentucky is at Ole Miss. Houston will try and bounce back after its first loss in conference play by taking on Oklahoma State. That's a look at the U.S. Bank scoreboard. Iowa, Purdue, 6 o'clock tomorrow night, 5 o'clock for the pregame show here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We're back with more Hawk Talk and Coach McCaffrey, joined by Bobby Hansen, of course. We'll go to Twitter, Facebook, the U.S. Cellular text line, and email, all straight ahead from the Hyatt Regency. And Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
Midwest One believed in us and gave us the money to get started, and it was great.
We're talking with Jack Piper of Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack.
In 2005, they were there when we opened Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack. They've been there every step of the way with funding and great feedback on how to expand our brand. Midwest One Bank has been great, and with the recent uncertain times, we got through it, thanks to Midwest One Bank.
Midwest One Bank, simply better banking. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever. Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
When you live in the Midwest, you're accustomed to leading the nation in certain things, from corn and pork production to eggs and soybeans. And now we're adding another product to that list, clean, renewable wind energy. By investing in wind turbines and partnering with area farmers and landowners, Mid-American Energy is harvesting wind power that's homegrown right in our very own backyard, which not only provides customers with low, stable energy rates, but also the support to make our Midwest communities safer and stronger.
Welcome back to the Hyatt Regency and Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey. I'm Gary Dolphin with Bobby Hansen. Before we get back to Coach and a quick bird's eye view of what Purdue brings to the table tomorrow night at Carver Hawkeye Arena, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. 10-second ID break here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. You're listening to Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency. Thanks to radio stations KILJ in Mount Pleasant. Up in Dubuque, it's WDBQ 107.5 FM. In Decorah, KDHK 100.5 FM. And in Waukon, KDHK 99.1 FM. Over in Waverly, covering the Cedar Valley, Waterloo, Cedar Falls, KWAY 99.3 FM. And, of course, our flagship stations, WMT AM 600 in Cedar Rapids and WHO 1040 on the AM dial in Des Moines. Coach, give us a synopsis of what you see in Purdue this edition of Matt Painter. He just completed 20 years there. I mean, they win every year. They got a great system. They got a great style. They're right in the hotbed of recruiting in Indiana. As you know, you've gotten a lot of great players out of that state. But Matt, not only are they very efficient on offense, they're one of the better defensive teams in the country, let alone the Big Ten.
His teams always defend. You know, they're going to pick the point guard off full court. They're going to be in your space. But one of the things that they're always known for is rebounding. And that, you know, last year when they beat us here, we played them tough. They went to the national championship game, we played them tough here, but they had 19 offensive rebounds. Now, it helps when you had Zach Edey.
For sure.
But wasn't just him. It's not just one guy. They really do a good job rebounding the basketball. You know, for that team, it starts with the two guards. But, you know, I mean, they've started for every game since they've been there. You know, Smith and Lawyer. Trey Kaufman-Wren, I've been really impressed with him. he was a good player in high school. I thought he was a solid freshman. And then his sophomore year, he started on a national championship team, was really good. But now you're seeing a guy who just continues to get better and has become an elite player in our league. He's averaging like 19 a game. Now, he's rotated those other 2 spots, but he's always had a bench. He's always had guys that accept their roles. He's got some young kids that are really talented that play. He's got some older guys that play. And Caleb First has been a solid contributor there, just a guy that helps you win. Tough kid, scores and rebounds, defends. Some nights he doesn't score as much, doesn't really go to him. They go to the other guys, but he just helps you win. So, you got to come ready to play when you're playing Purdue.
And Fran, I know you've always liked Trey Kaufman-Renn. We always talk about him, but where has he taken that next step up?
Well, what they did, Matt did a good job. He would go to him some. You don't think about last year's team, with the guys they had, Lawyer and Smith and Zach Edey. They're not going to. They did. They ran stuff for him. They built his confidence. They developed his game because they knew that this year he was going to be the guy. Because now they go to him a lot, and he's been really efficient. Big, strong kid. Not like 260 or anything like that. But he's athletic and powerful, strong, holds a position, but also has some skill. Go off the bounce, get to the rim, plays a little back down game. He's got a low post game, and he'll get rid of it.
And shooting 60% from the field.
Very efficient. Yeah. Very efficient. He's got more assists and turns.
Did you see 18.5 points and 6.5 rebounds coming out of him?
Well, I think Matt did.
That's important.
It's like he developed that kid to be that guy. There's a lot, like you said, a lot of times when what did he average last year? 6 and 5, something like that, probably. Well, he wasn't the primary guy, but you know what? Okay, next year it's your turn, and he's come through for them.
And going against Edey every day in practice certainly
didn't hurt
him develop, huh?
Yeah, just before that, it didn't hurt Edey to be going against Travion.
Perfect.
Before that, Isaac Haas and A.J. Hammonds, right? I mean, they've had a sort of a tradition of bigs, and bigger than Trey Kaufman-Renn. Trey's a lot bigger, a little smaller, but every bit as effective.
That brings up a good question, Fran. As I was at Rotary today, downtown Cedar Rapids Rotary, they wanted to say, why does Purdue always have these big, giant players? I said, I don't know. He recruits them, identifies them, and shows success.
Kid Jacobson was starting, and he got hurt. He's out for the season. And Will Berg is 7'2". So, he makes a concerted effort to go after some bigs, and he's recruited some guys who were under the radar that ended up being really good. Some of them you knew they were going to be really good, but, Zach Edey was not a household name. He was a hockey player from Canada who ended up, smart play by him and his parents to go to IMG and train and work on his game. And that's what he did, and the rest is history. Now he's playing in the pros.
Some say he wouldn't translate to the NBA, but I think he's doing pretty good.
Well, it's the same beef I had with some of the guys who would say that about Luka. Those guys just won. They win. They know how to win. They rebound and they score, and they can run. All right, so maybe they're not the greatest in a ball screen sometimes, but both of those guys did a pretty good job protecting the rim. And Zach was obviously bigger than Luka, blocked some more shots, but Luka was, by the end, was pretty good at defending ball screens. Because as you know, Bobby, in the pros they just go ISO ball. And if you can't guard, then it's hard for you.
You're going to be in it again. Next one.
It's just going to keep
picking
coming.
at you.
Keep picking on you. But those guys, if you play them, they're going to get 20 and 10.
Luka had a big game the other night. I saw 16 points in like 14 minutes.
He's amazing. I told every scout that I would talk to, I said, if you play this guy, he'll get 20 and 10. We had a rule. If ever there was a guy 6'8" or less guarding him, we had to throw him the ball 100% of the time because he would score 100% of the time. The only chance you had was to have a guy bigger than him. Even then, he would take him outside and shoot that face-up Sigma jumper right in his face.
Yep.
Or pop out for 3. where he shot 44%.
I talked to Bill Cartwright about him and said if he plays in the NBA, he'll score 40. He's like, these guys don't want to guard him.
No.
They want to shoot threes.
And he runs as hard as he possibly can to the other end of the floor every possession, offensively and defensively. And as you well know, Bobby, a lot of guys run on offense. They don't run back.
I'm sitting here chuckling, visualizing Zach Edey as a forechecking defenseman. He'd lay into the Dave Schultz, the hammer, from the Flyers.
Dave would fight anybody. You might have to think twice about that.
He'd fight the usher.
Yeah. He was my favorite Flyer.
Well, he was a lot of. I always liked Bobby Clark.
But Bobby Clark was probably my favorite. But
if you like physicality,
well, what would happen is Fred Shero was, I'm going to protect our best player. So if anybody messed with Clark, he would just put Schultz in, and that would be the end of that.
He'd be in the obituary column the next day. Yeah. They expanded the trophy case a few times.
They did.
That era of Philadelphia Flyer hockey, but seeing Zach Edey on skates that's scary.
Can you imagine that?
Coming at you?
Ooh. Might want to put him in a goal.
And I bet he was good. Oh, yeah, goal. How are you going to get
Just lay down.
Lay down. Lay sideways.
Yeah.
Coach, I was reading today about Courtney Aldridge. Your assistant coach is Courtney Aldridge, and Director of Player Development Assistant Coach Tristan Spurlock have been invited to the Silver Waves Media Elite 75 Future Head Coach Power Lunch, April 3rd in San Antonio at the Final Four. Tell us about that. That sounds like a great
I got nothing to tell you. I didn't know anything about it.
Oh, okay. Well, once again,
the wealth of information.
I got a scoop.
Just call Dolph, and I'm happy for them. Let me just say this.
It's one of the most prestigious luncheons in college basketball.
Well, they belong there.
I agree.
They're tremendous people. They work at their craft. They're smart. They both are really good players, and I'm just proud of them. I'm excited for them to go and experience this. I never got invited to it, so I'm glad they did. But I love those guys. I'm proud of them, and what will be good about it is, I'm assuming when you go to those kinds of, there's a lot of discussion, there's a lot of interaction, there's a lot of teaching and mentoring and learning and growth, and they will take it all in, but they'll also contribute.
They pick 50 coaches from around the country, and last year 10 of the 50 selected went on to become Division I head coaches. So they're looking at guys that have that kind of potential. And
exactly.
And Courtney and Tristan, you got two of the better ones.
Exactly.
And happy birthday to Tristan today.
That's right. Happy birthday.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Tristan. It's amazing to me. I look at this. Eldridge is in his 9th season on your staff. That's incredible.
He was one of the best players I ever coached. You talk about an absolute tough, smart gamer. You just put him out there. He's 5'10", one of our best rebounders.
He is one tough dude, let me tell you. And he was your video coordinator and then recruiting and player development.
Now he's on the road grinding.
Tristan has picked up a lot of Courtney's duties from the last few years.
Yes, but now the rules changed again, so Tristan can go on the road. Yeah, so he's done a good job there.
He's a good recruit. He'd be a good recruiter for you on the road, no question.
Personality.
Before we take a break, let's go to Facebook where Melissa checks in. How fair or not fair is the Big Ten tournament now? Unexpected teams have won it all, but now some may have no opportunity. I think Melissa's referring to the bottom three in the standings don't qualify for the Big Ten tournament.
I think that's ridiculous. I think it's egregious. Quite frankly, I'm really disappointed in the league. We made that known. We being every coach,
every head coach,
in the league. They start talking about logistical this and that. You recruit a guy to come play in this league, he should have an opportunity to play in the Big Ten tournament.
I agree. I agree.
So
well said.
I don't know if that will change in the future, or they'll just keep it the way it is because that's how they want it. But I'm not in favor of it, and I'm really disappointed in our league.
What are they concerned about? Adding an extra day to the brackets? Or
I think the TV side of it, adding the extra day, and then my guess is trying to protect the top teams from being upset, which if they get upset, that's their fault.
who doesn't want to watch Big Ten basketball for an extra day? So there's your answer, Melissa, at least from the head coach of the Hawkeyes. All right, we're back to the Hyatt Regency in just a minute with more Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever. Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Conference play is here, and you could be there in style with the Iowa Lottery. Play the new 9s in a Line scratch ticket for your chance to win cash, or see the Iowa women's basketball team take on UCLA in February. Enter any non-winning scratch ticket in the VIP Club today for a chance to win exclusive seats with complimentary food and beverage service, parking, and $500 in spending money. Women's basketball, men's wrestling. It's your choice in the prize zone. Check out ialottery.com/VIP for details and play today.
I'm Wyatt Black, defensive line, Iowa. On the field, I take on double teams, stop the run, and sack the quarterback.
Sullivan now runs for his life, and he's obliterated by Y.A. Black. Here's the snap, the spot.
Yes,
and it's blocked it. Kick is back to the line of scrimmage. Don't touch the ball. Hawks get it back. Y.A. Black, and man, what a momentum shift there.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Talk coming your way from the Hyatt Regency and the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. I'm Gary Dolphin, Bobby Hansen, and I will bring you Iowa Purdue tomorrow night, 5 o'clock for the pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network, and 6 o'clock for the tip-off. So come on out. There are about around 5,000 tickets available for purchase, and what better way to spend a Tuesday evening than coming out to watch the Hawks and the Purdue Boilermakers. Great rivalry down through the years. A couple thousand tickets remain for Iowa, Wisconsin, and that should absolutely be a raucous sellout on Saturday. It's a noon tip-off. Saturday matinee. The Hawks have not had many opportunities to play on Saturday afternoon. Well, they got border battle going with Wisconsin Saturday. We'd love to see you out there in your black and gold as Iowa entertains the Badgers. But first things first, starting with Purdue tomorrow night. Right now, it's time for our Midwest One Hawkeye men's basketball stat of the week. Midwest One Bank is a proud supporter of the Hawkeyes, and they're a partner of doers and entrepreneurs. Our teams are ready to help you reach your business goals. It's empowered money management. It's Midwest One Bank, member FDIC. Even though the Hawks were off last week, I mined this stat. The Hawks are second in the Big Ten and 12th nationally, averaging 15.7 to be exact. 15.7 fast break points per game. Fran, what's the key trigger there to fast break points? There are a lot of things at play: rebounding, turning a team over. But in your mind, what triggers a good fast break?
You got to run every time, makes and misses. You got to go every time, not, oh, we think we might score, so now we're going to run. Otherwise, we walk it up. We're running every time. We push it every time, throw it ahead, attack, in transition, before they set their defense. I mean, that's how you do it. The other thing is you got to rebound. So some of the games where we didn't rebound as well makes it harder. So you have to rebound, and you got to force some turnovers.
There you have it, the Midwest One Bank stat of the week. The Hawkeyes hope to get that break going tomorrow night against the Purdue Boilermakers. Back to our Facebook, Twitter, U.S. Cellular text line is open for you as well. Let's go to Facebook. There was one here. Kurt's in North Liberty. Fran, I know you've probably been asked this 1,000 times, but is there any doubt in your mind that the Big Ten is the most talented and difficult conference to compete in across the country?
I think it is now, for sure. But what you're seeing is, you know, the Power Four, they call it now, but I would include the Big East and still call it the Power Five. All of those teams are spending a lot of money on their roster.
SEC is in there,
The
too.
SEC is probably at the top when it comes to that. The Big 12 is up there. The Big 10 is, you know, some teams, we're a little bit behind where we need to be, but we're working on it. We've got a lot of people working on it. But, you know, you got 18 teams in our league. These teams in the East Coast, teams in the West Coast, you know, everybody's spending money. Everybody's part of the new TV deal. And those TV opportunities separate us from, you know, the mid-majors and so forth. You know, I think to say that we're 100% better than the SEC, the Big 12, you know, the ACC, whatever. Everybody likes to talk about that all the time. But you know, I think the thing that he's referencing is how difficult the league is top to bottom. And that's the key to it all, in my opinion.
Bobby, you and I have talked often this year, on and off the year, about how change because of the changing geography, changing landscape.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're recruiting nationwide now, and with the Big Ten Network, these games are all on television somewhere for these kids, and Fox, you know, has got a couple of different channels for them. But I love the new Big Ten. I know people complain about the travel and that, but you know, I like going coast to coast, and you know, you don't want to do it every day, but just to see different parts of the country, and then the talent that these teams have, the tradition that these schools have, that the Big Ten has brought in. So, yeah, there's a lot of good basketball out there, and it just, you know, you got to get the players, and then you got to buy in, and you got to make shots, and got to stay healthy as well. And that's why I was so bummed out today, hearing that Owen wasn't going to be able to play for us. So I was looking for the Hawks to make this run here, the final 10 games of the regular season. Now we just got to do it without Big O.
Fran, your point about the Big East is well taken. I mean, the explosion of television and television ratings happened, or really took that next giant step forward. And granted, the majority of the TV sets were in the Mid-Atlantic and East Coast, but John Thompson at Georgetown, Jim Boeheim at Syracuse, Raleigh at Villanova. I know I'm leaving somebody. St. John's, Jim Calhoun at UConn. I mean, you can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Everybody watched the Big East.
Yeah, that was a game changer, and that was the vision of Dave Gavitt.
Yes.
That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. Not that he wasn't a great coach, because he was, but, you know. And
Providence, right?
His son Danny now runs the NCAA. He's tremendous at his job. You know, what a difficult navigation that was a few years back through the pandemic to make sure we had an NCAA tournament. You guys all remember, we're down in Indianapolis, and
oh boy,
we were in the bubble. It was the weirdest. That was the weirdest time in our history. But like, we're down there in the hotel. They put your food in a bag right by your door. We get up in the morning and everybody has to get tested, you know. And then it was BCU has a guy that has COVID. They send them home. So now we're playing Oregon in the second round, and they got a bye in the first game because VCU got sent home.
Had to forfeit.
You know, it was just, but it was crazy. And the kids weren't allowed out of their rooms. They were under house arrest. But guess what? They had a great setup for our practices, so we could practice. They had a great setup for meetings and meals. And we got the tournament in, because the year before we did not.
That's
so
right.
I give Danny all the credit for that. Boy, there was a lot that went into that.
How many moving parts are in that puzzle?
Oh my God! Well, Thomas Deach, our former manager, he was involved in that as well, and we just wanted to be able to have the tournament. We had it, but the TV now, you're right, Dolph, has just exploded. Now it's even different, because back then it was sort of the beginning of ESPN as we know it, but now it's ESPN, Fox,
Everybody.
NBC, CBS Sports, CBS Network, Peacock,
FS1,
Big Ten Network,
streaming.
I was in heaven
Network.
Saturday, just sitting there with the clicker.
It was amazing Saturday's
All them games were on.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Good stuff. We got to take a break here, and we'll come back and wrap up this week's show on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. We're sponsored by the Summit Agricultural Group. Summit Ag is committed to Iowa and adding value to Iowa products like corn, beef, hogs, ethanol. Go Hawks. Thank you, Bruce and Nick and the crew at Summit Ag. Bruce founded Hawkeye Renewables, an ethanol company that became one of the largest ethanol producers in the country. Those plants are all operational today in 4 Iowa communities, employing Iowans, buying corn from Iowa farmers, and helping to fuel the world. Summit Agricultural Group. We're back with more Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey in just a minute from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville from Learfield.
Midwest One believed in us and gave us the money to get started, and it was great.
We're talking with Jack Piper of Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack.
In 2005, they were there when we opened Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack. They've been there every step of the way with funding and great feedback on how to expand our brand. Midwest One Bank has been great, and with the recent uncertain times, we got through it, thanks to Midwest One Bank.
Midwest One Bank. Simply better banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever. Oh my goodness.
Visit US Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
At MidAmerican Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
Good show tonight. Thank you all for checking in on the U.S. Cellular text line, email, on Facebook, and on Twitter here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Gary Dolphin with Coach McCaffrey and Bobby Hansen. Our airtime tomorrow afternoon is 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock for the tip-off here on the Hawkeye Radio Network, Iowa and Purdue. The Hawks need to get on a roll and will with 10 games to go. Even without Owen Freeman, if you missed it at the top of the show, Owen is out for the rest of the year after undergoing hand surgery on his shooting wing today, and we all wish him the very best. Articulate young guy, terrific player, and a part of that very heart and soul of that Hawkeye basketball team. On the U.S. Cellular text line, Coach, Rick is in Cedar Rapids. He says, is it difficult to recruit during the season with so many other priorities demanding your time as well as your assistance? Good question, Rick.
Yeah, it's not easy, but we want to get out and watch as many high school games as we can. In the spring, summer, and fall, we can, watch some AAU stuff. Actually, in the fall, we're actually back to high schools. In the spring and summer, it's AAU. So, I got out 2 Saturdays ago. My assistants, what they'll do is when it's not their scout, and then they have a little bit of time before their next scout because there's 2 other coaches in between, then they'll go. So they coordinate that because you got to get out and evaluate, because we're looking at juniors, sophomores, so we know who's on our radar, who we want to invite to games. You got to develop relationships. I mean, it's a little different now with portal recruiting. A lot of times there are teams now that just wait till the spring. There's 2,200 names in the portal. Go sign somebody who's 22 or 23 years old, 24, play those guys. We're still recruiting freshmen. We got 3 freshmen coming in. We got a transfer who is a freshman mid-season. So, we're still trying to recruit young guys that we think will be really good and be in our program for a long time.
Coach, we got 1 minute left here. We want to thank our folks here at the Hyatt Regency for being great hosts again tonight, especially the Watermill Kitchen and Bars. Delicious weekday lunch specials featuring a pick 2 for $12. Select from refreshing salads, sandwiches, soups to build a healthy and quick lunch, all for a great deal. Check it out at Watermill Kitchen and Bar every weekday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Our remaining 30 seconds, I want to work in Sam in Iowa City. I see son Jack is nominated for the McDonald's All-American team. That's quite an accomplishment. Congratulations, Coach. Can you tell us more about that honor? It's been around a long time.
Yeah, every high school player wants to be a McDonald's All-American. Just to be nominated, I think there was 4 or 5 in the state, alone, just in our state. So I'm really proud of him. He's having a great year.
And you should be. Way to go, Jack. Our next show, by the way, is recorded next Tuesday, February 11th at 7 o'clock. We'll return live to the Hyatt Regency on Tuesday, February 18th. Coach, good luck tomorrow night. We'll see you over at Carver.
Appreciate it, Dolph.
And thank you, Bobby Hansen. I'm Gary Dolphin. Good night from the Hyatt Regency, Watermill Kitchen and Bar.
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey. Brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with a Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Mid-American Energy. Look up, look out for overhead power lines. Visit midamericanenergy.com for electrical safety tips. Midwest One Bank is the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Midwest One. Small enough to care, big enough to deliver. Member FDIC. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. By your local Ford dealers. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. And by U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.